Cody.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Oh, I'm here with Russo, and we're doing the Go Home Show at Russell Palooza. It's Russo. How are you? I'm well now, man. Since Raw is over, so let's talk about Raw. Into it. Where are you at? Just Go Home Show to Russell Palooza.
Let's see if we can name. Let's see if we can lay out the card.
Yep.
Brock Cena,
Yep. Drew,
Seth,
Cody.
Seth, Becky, Punk,
Drew Cody.
Drew Cody, Io Sky, Bakor.
Yeah. And the Usos against Bronson and
Is that it? 5 matches.
I think that's it. Yeah. That's it, man. That's it. ESPN special, baby. They've got the best of the best with these 5 matches, man.
So Lollapalooza is on the ESPN app, correct?
Yes, it is.
So if I want to watch that, I've got to pay for it.
Yes, you do. Simply for the app is $30. However,
$30 a month.
it is, but if you have a VPN, ladies and gentlemen, yes, indeed. You can watch the best place. Per Stephanie McMahon.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Steph. So yeah, let's talk about the go home show. We see it's John Cena. It's about a couple hours away from his hometown, so he goes over to Springfield, home turf ish. Cuts a promo, says the family was there, and so that's that. That's the Cena promo. Cena, Cena always knows how to deliver good promos, man. What do you think about this segment?
Yeah, again, tonight's show is, I tell you guys this story all the time when, like when we were in creative meetings and Dutch would say, the angle's already shot. This is just maintenance. This is just maintenance. I hated that, bro, because maintenance means you don't need to see it. If the angle's already shot and you're just maintaining it, then nothing's going to happen. So I hate that. We had a lot of this today, bro. I mean, you had the promo with Cena, which was a big fat nothing burger. Then you had the mixed tag. You had them 4 in the ring talking forever with one move of heat. Then they did the flip flop with LA Knight and Jay. They did the flip flop of what they did last week. Man, bro, this is really like this. The EO Sky Oscar has been going on now for 3 months. This is just, man, this is just the absolutely easiest booking they can possibly do.
Vince, I mean, you just wrapped that up in a matter of 2 minutes, and we're ready to talk for an hour. So I really don't know what else we have to talk about.
We could talk about this for an hour.
Right.
I did not realize this. Okay, one of the announcers referred to EO Sky as the Genius of the Sky.
Yes, that's her moniker.
What does that mean?
Do we know what any of the monikers mean?
But this one, like, is so, like, Genius of the Sky. Like, what does that even mean?
I think, you know, her finisher's a moon, so she likes to fly. And she does those crazy spots in the cage matches nowadays. She jumps off the top of the cage. So that's what she does. She's the genius of the sky, Vince.
And another one of my favorites is getting to be Rosie Perez is the prodigy. But we have no idea. We have no idea why.
That's great.
That has never been explained to us. We don't know who she's the prodigy of.
There's no.
She's just the prodigy, man. She's the prodigy.
We don't know who prodigy she is. That's that.
Yep.
What other, you know, we have the episode tomorrow, right? With,
I'm going to put something over. As ridiculous as this Bailey character is going to be, as bad as this is going to be, she's really committed to the bit and she's really trying. She went above and beyond and over the top to try to get this over. But, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just watching this and it's just like very, very, very silly. But she is trying to get it over. So, I mean, I'm going to give her credit for trying to get it over.
you know, it's interesting that you said that, Vince, because, you know, we had this conversation before, like, hey, you know, I was like, maybe there's a side that we never saw, you know, I mean, that she's been spending some time with really committing to the bit, so to speak. I saw this and I said, you know what? This is slightly different than what we've seen before. You know what I mean? So I gotta give her at least an effort. I gotta give her effort points for saying, hey, I'll commit to this kind of multiple personality type of business she's doing now. Still don't know the payoff to this. I mean, even if it's a heel turn against Lyra, who cares? But at the same time, at least she's giving it a step above what we usually see. So I'll give her that. So we get Lyra Valkyria's the first segment after she defeating Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne attacks. Bailey makes save. She's definitely going. She's definitely going over the top, you know, with the hugs and things like that. The criticism I have about this, though, and I said this, you know, to you before, as far as like, if you're going to give it your all, give it your all. I don't understand why Bailey doesn't go back to the hug again. She should come out. I think that she should come out in two different gimmicks at random times. She has, if the voices in her head are the hugger gimmick and the role model, she should just randomly come out to that gimmick at any given week. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what she should do. I've interviewed Bailey before, and I asked her about the hugger gimmick. I said, will we ever get this? She said, no, not a chance, no chance. And she said something about, you know, why bring up some of that. But there's been so much of Bailey that's been just kind of in purgatory and has that feel to her. I mean, that the hugger thing is really was her bread and butter for so long. I like the fact that she's doing hugger and role model because it's something different. But don't be in the middle and then you just have like a thought of something. Give us a certain gimmick per week, and that to me, I would be very interested in. Because if it's about Lyra doesn't know what version of Bailey to expect per week versus just voicing it. And I think just go the extra mile.
I think you're going to see exactly what you saw tonight. I think she's going to come out role model, heel Bailey, then she's going to hear the Randy Orton voices in her head, and then she's going to start hugging everybody. I just think that's what you're going to see. I think that's going to be the blueprint until it gets old. You know what I mean?
I agree. That's what we perceive. I think the extra mile we should get that. Like you said, I agree. We get Adam Pearce and EO, second here, contracts like backstage. Another week of hospital. I think that's just got some face.
This is big, but those backs, well, again, guys, it's just hysterical because the backstage vignettes with these three, it's been like 6 weeks now.
Yes.
This is like the 4th week in a row where we have just seen Rhea Ripley in the back.
Yes.
In literally a 30-second, like 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and it's like, why don't you just have something, if she's the heir apparent of being in the title run, or title hunt again, why don't you have someone feeding against her that she can get some heat from, that she can, get some steam from, instead of continue to be backstage every single week, being involved in this Kabuki Warrior stuff? How is that helping her stock value? Just kind of sitting there waiting in the shadows. In your booking style, if Austin's waiting for a title hunt, there's someone there to derail him. And that's the point of keeping that person present and having, that angle, even if it's for a few weeks, for a month or so, to derail Austin away from the title hunt. You either chasing it, you either have it, or you either got derailed by someone who's caused you to get away from it for a second. Derailing someone from the chase isn't them continue to appear backstage on Raw every single week. That's not derailing. That doesn't help someone's stock.
And then it's funny, bro, because when they did the little piece of business in the ring with Becky and this, that, and the other thing, and then Asuka went out and all that stuff, they were chanting "Mommy," even though she didn't fit there. It would have made no sense, but they're still chanting her name because they want to see her. And I don't understand. Like, I don't know why we don't have anything for this woman. I don't understand that.
I don't get either, man. We have LA Knight talking to Jimmy Uso. Jimmy declines. By the way, fill up the chat, the super chat, because this might be a short one this week. Fill it up. Let's do some Q&A because we're just rolling through this card leading into WrestlePalooza. LA Knight talks to Jimmy Uso. Jimmy declines as far as just trying to find a partner. Adam Pearce told him to find a partner for the night. Penta's still in the New Day and Grayson Waller mix, caught up in that web, defeats Kofi Kingston. What you say on that, Vince?
Guys, listen. They've given us nothing to talk about. Okay, it's a John Cena promo. That's all it is. Nothing happens in the John Cena promo. How are we supposed to discuss the John Cena promo? Then we got Velcro and Rosie Perez, who is a prodigy. We don't know whose prodigy she is. That's never been explained. So we have that. The Jimmy, LA Knight, and Jey Uso is supposed to be the thread throughout the show.
Yeah.
I can't possibly imagine anybody cares if Jimmy Uso is or isn't going to team with LA Knight. Like, seriously, I don't, who cares? Like, if he says no, he says no. If he says yes, he says yes. I mean, there's no investment in this. Nothing. And this is supposed to be the thread or the hook throughout the show, but do we really care if Jimmy says yes or no?
The thing is, Vince, every time you say we, you say a very select few of we compared to the current pro wrestling crowd. They care about whatever you put on the table for the meat. So that's basically what their diet is. Whatever you put on the table for them to eat, they're going to chomp it up. It's funny, man. Like, for some odd reason on Facebook, I get reels of dogs eating human food. You know what I mean? Like, there's like human chefs, like really, and the food is amazing, by the way. It looks amazing. And so we have like a chef who has like dogs. There's one of them who has like three dogs, and he'll just like make a really nice plate and a really nice meal for them. He'll just feed it to the dogs. And there's another reel that comes up, and it's just like oftentimes like raw food, like sushi and just stuff like that. There was some cooked chicken, like rotisserie, and they're just feeding the food to the dogs, and they're just eating it. Whatever's on the plate, they're eating. They'll lick it up and they'll eat it. And so that is very similar to what the fans are compared to what the WWE gets them. He just puts it on the plate, feeds them, and they eat it. I mean, and you saw you saw with the chants today. You see it with just the level of support that they have. They don't challenge, the riders to do better, to do, to elevate, the craft, to elevate the creativity. They don't challenge. There's no challenge. You know what I mean? Because they spent all the money getting themselves in debt, buying the tickets for WrestlePalooza. So just like you said, Vince, per our good friend Dutch Mantel, this is maintenance phase.
That's all it is. I mean, then, bro, you get to this Becky and Seth and Punk and AJ Lee, and bro, they just not Punk, but the other three are just so over the top. I mean, Becky and Seth come across as clowns. They come across as
Thank
clowns.
God somebody
Bro,
said that.
Chris, think about
Thank
who
God
had the
somebody said
most
that.
wildest, over the top personality, dressed the part. Think of that, but yet never came across as a clown. Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Randy Savage had the outfits, the woo, the
Pomp and
whole,
circumstance.
the whole 9 yards. But Randy Savage never came across as a clown.
Yeah, he still was a tough guy.
Right? These two come across as freaking clowns, man. They just come across as clowns. Like they come across like they're trying to be funny. First of all, you guys are heels. You're not supposed to be trying to be funny, bro. I think of Piper. Think of Piper, bro. When the problem is, Chris, and we talk about this all the time, they just can't cut these promos like normal people. They've got to be so over the top and so animated, and that's what makes it look really, really, really silly, stupid, and phony. I don't understand that. You want to be a heel or you want to be a comedian? Which one do you want to be? Heels cannot be comedians. Heels need to be heels, bro.
Yeah, you generate heat. And, if you're not really generating heat, if you always, are having people sing your song and, just simply telling people to shut up, all the time. Yes, those want to get cheap heat, and that's something at least. But at the same time, it's that type of heat that people just are tired of hearing. You know what I mean? That's not really good, solid heat. That's more like go away, shut up heat. You know what I mean? And so that's not really the heat you're trying to generate. You want people to really hate you because the point of heat for a heel is to pass that on to the babyface when they beat you. That's the point. That's the 101 playbook of professional wrestling. Right. And but the problem is we see nowadays a lot of these characters are dragging these segments there because they're expecting the same type of attention span from like 1990, 35 years later, and you don't have the same attention span with these.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Chris. Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, we have the Usos talking backstage. Face Off, we just talked about that. Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, CM Punk, AJ Lee. Did you time this segment at all?
No.
Well, how much do you think it lasts? Anybody in the SK Nation time?
I would say 12 minutes.
All right, that's your guess. SK Nation, anybody time this segment? And I'll just look over the chat. Send me the super chat. I'll look over the chat. All right, Someone said 21 minutes.
Oh.
Was it really? Let's get this. Let's get that confirmed. We got a 21 minutes. Did anybody else time it?
If somebody, it's just somebody turn on Netflix real quick and just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to the start and the finish of it.
Yeah, just
okay.
timestamp it. Yeah, just timestamp it real quick, and I'll read it out. I'm really interested to see how long this segment. Backstage interview: Dominic Mysterio interrupted by Xavier Woods attacking Penta with a chair. So clearly, this is going to continue with now Xavier Woods and hitting Penta with a chair. He had to have legit surgery on his head. So YouTube says 21 minutes. Someone says 20 minutes. So yeah. It's about 20 minutes. Yes, it was 21 minutes is what we're getting.
Yeah, and just bad, man.
That was a long segment. Yeah, what do you think about this? Xavier Woods and Penta. Looks like it's going to be a.
Xavier Woods is hurt, right?
Yeah, he had a surgery. He had open head surgery.
Why? So why is Xavier Woods on the show, but not Liv and Bianca?
He just had a lipoma removed. It wasn't serious.
Yeah, but Liv and Bianca are way past the bad part of their injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, as far as having a presence, yeah, sure. I think the easy answer to that, the simple answer to that is that they're saving them for their pop bank. I mean, that's their petty cash fund is what we were talking about last week, and that's what they're doing. They're saving Bianca for the pop. They're saving Liv for the pop. That's what we're going to do. They're not saving Xavier for the pop, so therefore they're going to have Xavier on the show. You know, Xavier's not going to. Doing some research.
I'm going to show you something. Hold on. I'm pulling it up.
Sounds like a plan. Let's see here.
I got a phone. Where'd you go, Chris? Oh, here you are. All right, Chris, here. Let me share this with you. All right, so get this, Chris, because we need time anyway. Chris, can you please pull this up?
Absolutely. All right. Let us take this off. This.
I don't know if you know, but I am working security for the King of Pops. All right, Chris, there's me. I've got the King of Pops. He's ready to go out there. He's got the glove now. He's going to use the glove to point the finger. I got my King of Pops shirt, man. I'm making sure nobody F's with him, bro. And there it is. There it is. The King of Pops, man. There he is, ready to go out there, man.
Okay. You are the security guard.
I'm the
bodyguard.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. There it is.
King of Pops. Very nice. Very nice. King of Pops.
Oh, come on, we're not going to drag that out 15 minutes like the WWE, Chris.
Oh, look, hey, look, I'll bring that, bring it back up for another,
That's okay.
There you go. We got King of Pops here. We got Triple H. The King of Pops himself. Moonwalking himself onto a Netflix stage. Moonwalking himself into a press conference. Giving himself superlatives saying that it's the greatest. It's the best. It's record-breaking, chart-breaking, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, they're getting the cash because it's in the bank. All right, let's get to what's next? Backstage. Okay, I'll run an Americano with a bunch of Americanos.
Have they even explained this?
No.
Have they explained why there's 3 Americanos?
I don't get it. I don't get it too. Every single we get these random Americanos and they're looking at each other doing the whole, what is it, the Batman gimmick where they're pointing at wasn't that Batman that they're pointing at each other at 2 different times so that they're mirroring each other? I thought it was a Batman. SK Nation, I thought it was a mirroring Batman. The Spider-Man meme, that's cool. They were just mirroring and looking at, pointing at each other. And so they kind of did that. Again, Vince always say, what's the payoff? What's the payoff?
I have no idea. like it. I do have, if we gotta eat sometime, I got a great new clip. Bro, we've heard Tony Khan give all these great speeches at AEW events when he comes out to the stage, you know, dynamite, you know, and all that stuff. Dynamite. Yeah, bro, I got a clip of where he gets it from.
Okay.
Bro, this is Father Shad after the Jaguars won their first game. He's in the locker room. Listen,
Okay.
listen to Shad, bro. This is where Tony gets it from. Here we go.
This is what we envisioned in January, okay? It's happening here in September. Gonna go on forever.
Forever. Chip off the old block. And meanwhile, I think they lost their yesterday.
Did they lose?
I think they lost by a point yesterday.
I haven't, I was following.
They lost by 4 points.
The AFC South is usually one of the worst divisions.
Yeah, your Titans are already.
Oh, I broke up with the Titans.
I know you did. I know you did. Right on this note, you declared it.
But yeah, so, and I'm gonna reveal my new team tomorrow. All right, we got Lyra goes to Bailey's office backstage. And we have.
This is where they dropped the ball already because Lyra goes back in there. Bailey starts cutting the promo on her. Then she should have hugged her.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking the same thing. That would have made so much sense. That's why I said she should literally come out every single week with no honor, but Bailey under Bailey, and that would just I would pop for that because it would make it interesting. That would be a good way to take the Lyra Bailey and something too, because Lyra every week she's like it could be like a role of Lyra going to the office, not knowing which one to expect. Peeks in, says, oh no, it's Hugger Bailey, and she comes out, what are you doing, you idiot? You know, or role model Bailey, what are you doing, you idiot? And stuff like that. Even getting to the point of like trying to run for her, wanting to attack her, she's running, you know, stuff like that is what you need to give us. Otherwise, if it's the same type of Lyra Bailey stuff.
And she is another one with the way over the top facials, man. Come on, you guys. Like, seriously, just watch regular television and see how actors and actresses act. It's always so over the top, animated, cartoony. Remember the NWO? God, that was so over because it was so freaking real. It was dangerous. They were acting like themselves. Over the top stuff. Bro, you either gotta be edgy or you gotta be campy. Like there's no in between. If we're gonna be a campy show, then if we're gonna be Glow, then let's be Glow. But you can't have campy and then try to have serious and then, well, this act is campy, but this act is serious. Well.
Did you ever recall in your days suggesting sequels to
Well, not really, because I was working with them all the time. And they would do pre-tapes over and over and over. Bro, we may spend an hour on one pre-tape. I mean, that's what we did. If I thought it was going to be horrible television, we were doing it again and again and again. And bro, I'm talking about brawls. I'm talking about if they brawled for 5 minutes and somebody was doing the girly man punches, bro, I would say, guys, hate to break the news to you, man, we're doing this again. Those punches look like crap. And bro, they didn't get hot because they don't want to look like crap. And they knew I was protecting them. So we would spend sometimes an hour doing one vignette if we needed to.
It's been I've actually this before, but it's been a while before. Something I've talked about before. How many takes was Steinway? I thought you said. What made you say, cut, this is good?
Oh, bro, I was in tears while he was cutting this. Like, and
How
bro,
was you able to contain yourself being behind the camera?
and bro, that's the thing. It's like while he was cutting it, like he had no idea what he was saying or how good this was. Like, but you know why that was, bro? Because he was in the moment of the promo. He was in the moment. That Lyra, like, she's so overreacting at the end of that shot. Like, oh man.
And he did such a great job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could tell Rocky Khan was trying to hold it in. For the most part, she did pretty good too. She did look inspired. Yeah, that's just. How was their reaction after the take? After you say, "All right, cut, this is good." What was the conversation?
I don't think he realized or understood people were going to be talking about this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he got that at all because he's Scott, he to him, he's just cutting a promo. To us watching it from the outside,
It's a national treasure now.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And because you know why, bro? Here's why. Here's a perfect example. When we see Lyra with the over the top, and we see, Seth and Becky, the clowns. Here's the difference. Nobody else could have cut that promo but Scott. Nobody else. Anybody else can get the over the top looks. Anybody else can be clowns. Anybody can do that. Nobody could have cut that promo.
Yeah, I mean, talk about turning limit one thing. Because Steiner was known for fumbling on his promos over the series. And so that was even a nuance that people remember just a few years before when he was cutting promos against Flair. Like just and just cutting promos and fumbling all the time. And the very fact that went so well with the Steiner Man promo, it made it so much him. Like he made it his signature by fumbling on his promos, returning
Here is another thing, man. You get people say, bro, I did this, and the number one thing is to always protect your talent. You always want them to look that start. You always want them to look good. Bro, Jay fumbled a couple of times during his bro, I'm doing that as soon as he fumbles, cut. Do it again. As soon as he fumbles, you're doing that would have never made air. But why? Why is that making air, man?
Did you notice that Jimmy just went blank?
Yes.
Yeah, he went completely blank, and then Jay had to come in and he fumbled after Jimmy went blank. I'm like, ooh, man.
Bro, you can't allow that to happen, bro. Even if I can't tell you, Chris. Even if somebody didn't follow, I can't tell you how so many times. Chris, what happens is, they got the promo, then you got a monitor right there, you play it back so you can look at it, okay? I can't tell you how many times, man, when the promo was done, before we even looked at the monitor, I would tell them, step back in there, you can do it better. You can do it better. And bro, they never follow me, they never argue with me because they understood I wanted their best. And that's what we used to do. Before we would even look at it, no, bro, you can do better. Get back in there. I don't know how they let this stuff go. I don't know.
We got Judgment Day celebration, and then wasn't us talking about this, like what's next for Rusev or Sheamus and Vince. I said Rusev versus Dominic. You would pick since both of them are heels.
Yeah.
Now Rusev goes up to Dominic and said that he wants their kind of championship. While Dominic is still trying to play a heel. And Rusev is now a heel. The fans are booing Rusev throughout the entire time, but now they're chanting Rusev Day and Dirty Dogs. I saw this segment. I said, if I was going into Raw tonight, I would have no clue who the babyface would be.
You're absolutely right.
No clue. Then we get the main, Bronson and Braun defeating Jimmy Uso and LA Knights. Then we get Jay making the save, chair gimmick, attacking Jimmy and LA Knights. Tease the chair shot, they celebrate, and then LA Knights the BMT finisher.
And it's just the total reverse from wrestling.
I thought it was weird because why would they have Bronson and Braun beat Jimmy and Jimmy gets the pin? And they're supposed him and Jay are supposed to have a tag match.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Raw review. This episode of Raw was disrespectfully awful. I'm going to be nice tonight, though, because, I don't want to yell and shout, because this episode, even though it was very disrespectful, it was also very bad, of course. But WWE gave it their best. Triple H, who, shows up to work every week, he's always backstage booking the show, so I just want to be nice. I want to be cordial. We had some great segments tonight. Jonathan Cena came out to remind us that he's going to bring the fight to Brock Lesnar. And John Cena, I think, has 6 days left. That's what John Cena has. He has 6 days left. And he's telling us about how he's going to bring the fight to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, who, again, why would you show up on SmackDown if you knew that Cena wasn't going to be there and he was just going to be there on Raw? That's already problem number 1. Now, back to being normal, though. We had the segment with AJ, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch. When you see this face-to-face advertised, you're thinking, man, this is going to be awesome. And this segment was awful.
You deserve the best.
Nothing happened inside of this segment because nothing matters. They're talking about absolute nonsense. Seth Rollins and CM Punk, we've seen them cut 15 different segments together. We've seen them wrestle 18 billion matches. What left could these guys possibly have at this point? And even Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, who are supposed to add the new dynamic into the storyline, they have nothing to say. It is embarrassing at this point, man. The AJ Lee return pop was great when she came back. And now she's been back for 2 or 3 weeks, and it is already died out. I don't care if AJ Lee and Becky Lynch have a problem with one another. I don't care if AJ Lee ends up winning the Intercontinental Championship. It's great to see her back.
Oh God, she does. I will click this
He's gonna be here for weeks. He's gonna fight her. I don't care. I don't care anymore, man. We need to build new stars. I understand you have to have room for older people on the roster who are that big of stars, like a John Cena, for example, or like The Rock when he returns. But this over-reliance on returns and pops and shock factor, because that's all Triple H can do. He never shows up to work. I've gone over this before. He does not show up to work to make these shows at all. And so all that he can do is have this person return, and that person return, and this person return. But in all of this, where are the new stars that are being built? Where are they at? Can someone please tell me who in the newer stars, the younger crop of talent, gets anywhere near the reaction or star level, or has anywhere near the star level of someone like a Romano Reigns, someone like a CM Punk, someone like a John Cena, and not even what John Cena has or what Roman has, just a portion of what they have. Just a portion. Braun Breaker doesn't have 1/10 of the hype that Cena or Roman has. Doesn't have 1/10 of it, man. It's a joke. Los Angeles Knights in his 40s fighting with Jimmy Uso against the Vision, but we haven't seen the Vision together in months at this point, it feels like, man. It is an embarrassment. This show sucks. It's disrespectful. It is a waste of time. When you constantly throw the same dudes out there with the Vision and the Usos brawling every week for 2 months straight, it shows me that Triple H obviously is not showing up to work. He's not doing his job. He's not actually making things creative, and they don't care. They're complacent. They don't care what the ending of the show is, and they don't care what we think about it because they're going to give it to us every single week. That is what they are basically telling us every single week with this garbage product, and I am done. This show, this company, is now going to charge $30 a month for these shows. These shows suck. Nobody wants to see this garbage for $30 a month. How in the world is it possible that we can have the same Raw and SmackDown, the same monotonous, garbage, boring format every week, and they're going to reward you with $30 spent on a PLE that ends up sucking? Can you explain to me where that? This is killing the company. This company is going to die. And there's nothing to break down on this Raw episode, so I can rant as long as I want to. There's nothing to talk about. Jonathan Cena, arguably, in my opinion, I think he is the greatest of all time. And he has 6 appearances left as a WWE performer. And the best thing you can have in his 7th to last appearance is to have him cut an "I'm gonna beat Brock Lesnar" promo and not show up the rest of the show. No backstage interactions, no creative go out there and brawl with him and Brock Lesnar. Nothing. All it is just John Cena coming out to tell us he's gonna bring the fight to Brock Lesnar. That is what we are getting. How many times has John Cena shown up this year and he just cuts a promo and then we don't see him again the rest of the episode? That is the best way they can utilize the greatest of all time in his final run. They waste his heel run and then randomly just turns face on a random episode of SmackDown before SummerSlam. That is what John Cena has gotten from Triple Fraud, who can't do his job. This is what the product has become. I'm tired of talking about this nonsense every single week. It's the same show. And we ended with what? With Jimmy Uso and LA Knight and Jey Uso brawling around with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. It's the same show. Kofi fought Pentagon. Who cares? Nobody cares. Lyra Valkyria fought Roxy, Pop Rocks. She fought Pop Rocks for nothing. And Bayley came out and she's hugging people now, but then she's hating people. Then she's hugging. Then she's hating. Then she's hugging. Then she's hating. Then she's jobbing. Because nobody cares about what Bayley has to do anymore, man. It's over. We have to start acknowledging things the way that they are, no pun intended. Ever since Roman Reigns lost the WWE Championship, this company has died effective immediately. Codarius Rodington has no idea what he is doing with that belt. And Triple Fraud has no idea who he's booking with that belt. I'm sorry, but you know it. Cody Rhodes comes out there every week and cut the same promo for 9 months straight. I respect you. I love you. I need you. I'm proud of you. What are you talking about? This is what the show has become week to week, man. And there's no denying it anymore. This is a casual fact of life. And this company has the audacity to sit back. Triple Fraud has the audacity to sit back and not show up to work amidst all of this and tell you that if you don't like the current product, that as a fan, you should screw off. Or his words, he said F off, but I'm just going to say screw off. That's what he said, man. And this is what we're getting. Listen, we're going to get into the show. We're going to break it down. But I want you guys to understand and know something. This product is dying, and it is going to die. WWE is already dead, ladies and gentlemen. It's on its last leg. We already know this. It's on its way out. You're charging fans $30+ a month. You're pricing them out of arenas by TKO upcharging the ticket sales. Triple H is not giving an ounce of effort into creating great shows week to week for this product. It's over. Stop. The bloodline is done. There's no concurrent storylines. There's no top draw, larger-than-life feeling character anymore. Roman Reigns is that, and Cena is that as well, but they don't show up. They're part-timers. And Cena's going to be done in 3 months. Roman Reigns is already part-timer. He's had 1 foot out the door now for 2 years, or a year at this point. It is over. And to top it all off, we now have to be saddled with watching 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds and 45-year-olds go at it in the ring while we build no stars. Why is Brock Lesnar fighting Ron Cena on SmackDown? Why is Jonathan Cena fighting Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza? Do you understand how embarrassing this is? Listen, let's get into the show. We're going to reconvene. We're going to talk about everything that happened. We're going to break down each moment in each segment that happened in the show. So let's just get into it. John Cena comes out and basically says that he is happy to be in Springfield, Massachusetts. He's happy, because he played football just up the road from here. His family's at the arena. His family's at the show. That is amazing for John Cena. I'm glad he gets to experience this in his final run. He then basically says that Brock Lesnar is a very controversial individual. Throughout his entire career, he's made it a point to come back and beat me up and what's called and damage me and try to hurt me in my career. And that is exactly why I am going to take this fight. Because I could easily walk away. I only have 6 days left, so I can preserve my health by not fighting Brock Lesnar, who is very dangerous. And you are reminded that John Cena, the greatest of all time, only has 6 days left. And what is he here to do? Tell us that he's going to fight Brock Lesnar. You kidding me? This is the type of stuff that actually is infuriating, man. Watching these shows week to week and just seeing the garbage in the nonsensical booking and this lack of effort. How is it possible that there are literally there are a multitude of scenarios you could have made John Cena's retirement run better? Multitude! And this is what we get. Anyways, we then move on. He basically says that he's going to fight Brock Lesnar because he doesn't back down and he never gives up. Okay, he hasn't given up for 23 years, even though he could have thrown in the towel and basically said, hey, I'm not doing this match. You guys owe me a favor. It's been 23 years, etc., etc., etc. But he doesn't give up because he wants to fight for you guys. You guys are the reason that he's still fighting. You guys are the reason he keeps pushing on, and you guys are the reason that he is going to take the fight for Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. So if Brock Lesnar wants some, come get some. And that's the end of the promo. That's it. Seventh to last time we're seeing John Cena, and that's how we ended the segment. If you want some, come get some. See ya. Think about that. I'm going to let you sit in that for a couple seconds. I'm going to go silent. Just think about that, bro. Go ahead. Take a second to think about that. John Cena, the greatest of all time, shows up to cut a 8-minute promo and then disappears after saying his classic catchphrase. And that is the best possible usage you can do of John Cena in his final run. Let's move on to the next segment. I just want everyone to think about that. We're going to take a moment. That's what we're going to do from now. We're going to take a moment of reflection. After every segment I break down, we're going to take a moment of reflection on what we just talked about. Now, let's move on to the next thing I want to discuss. The fans are insufferable. They chant anything. AJ Lee, AJ Lee. What's next? CM Punk, CM Punk. It's over. These fans will chant for anything. Roman Reigns, Cody.
There's
Preach it, man. Preach it.
stop getting.
Cody Rhodes, we are boss. Everything gets a chant. They were literally chanting therapy last week, and now this week they were chanting constipated. Are you kidding me? These fans are absolute bots. They just copy on to whatever is said. It is the most annoying thing I've ever seen. In all of my days watching wrestling, I never thought that I would actually be annoyed this much at the fans consistently. But I am, because they chant for everything, they cheer for everything, and it gives WWE carte blanche to continue to do the same absolute garbage over and over again. Then we move on to Jay Yeetmaster backstage taking orders from someone on a phone. We can presume that this is Romano Reigns. He basically is telling Jimmy Orders, you cannot compete in the tag match this weekend because we need you to be healthy, obviously, so we can fight Braun and Brunson. Jimmy Uso then denies him and says, no, I'm not listening to you, man. You ain't got an Ula Fala around you next, so why should I be listening to you like this, man? Stop giving me orders. He then decides he's going to team with LA Knight in the main event to fight Braun and Brunson. How many times have Move on. Let's just move on. Lara Valkyria then fights Roxanne Perez. This match, I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch it until the last few minutes of it, so I don't care. I'm pretty sure Lara Valkyria got the W because Roxanne Perez gets pinned every single match, so nobody cares. Bayley then comes out afterwards to help Lara Valkyria, hugs a bunch of people, laughs around, saves Lyra. Then later in the night, they have a backstage segment, and Bayley is very mad with Lyra. She has her other alter ego now, is very upset. I don't care. Let's move on. Kofi Kingston then loses to Penta. Do you guys remember when the New Day had one of the greatest heel-turn segments of all time in recent memory? And they proceed. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. We're just going to move on. Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer, they have a backstage segment. They have a contract signing that occurs completely off screen. There's nothing they could have done to elevate this feud. There's no type of special segment, maybe a brawl, maybe anything to actually, give us some story threads for this. Maybe tie in the fact that they both have wrestled around the world and they finally have their opportunity to prove that they're the greatest in front of the WWE stage in the first ESPN event, and maybe be able to sell that they're really, this championship means so much to Stephanie Vaquer. Her whole journey to get to WWE and get this moment, it means a lot to her. Give her any type of story. No, we get nothing. We get a backstage segment where Adam Pearce's head, Mr. Mr. Clean goes back there and basically gives them the contract to sign, and they move on. That is what you're getting. And I'm supposed to sit here and say, this is awesome. This is awesome, Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean. What's that? Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean. Anyways, we then move on to arguably what is the worst segment of the night and one of the worst segments I've seen all year. AJ Lee and CM Punkinator come out to talk to Seth Rollins and Rebecca Lynch. We have to acknowledge something immediately. Seth Rollins and CM Punk in this current format are washed. What they're doing, and I don't mean washed in terms of their general, like what's happening with their matches and their promos, okay? I mean specifically, when it's just them two in the ring and they're involved in a storyline, they're washed. What else can they possibly say that we haven't heard already? What moves can they do in the ring that we haven't already seen? What combination of matches can we, like, we've already seen it all. We saw it all. We saw them wrestle each other at WrestleMania this year. That should be the end of all of this nonsense. And then when Rollins gets on the mic, their crowd is chanting, shut the you-know-what up. They're chanting, no one likes you. They're chanting, shut up. They're chanting, we don't care. Why do you think, oh, this is not just heat, this is go-away heat. No one cares what Seth Rollins has to say. We already know this. Anytime you give him the ball to be the top guy or the QB, quote-unquote, of the company or on the show, it never works out. Why do you think that the Raw ratings have consistently gone down and down since he's been champion? You may get a pop here and there because Roman shows up, so you get a couple hundred extra thousand viewers. Other than that, you're getting nothing. Seth Rollins is not Roman Reigns, man. You guys have to understand the hierarchy here. You had Rock, you had Hogan, you had Austin, you had guys like Undertaker, you had Shawn Michaels, you had all these people, you had your Bret Harts, etc. You know what I'm saying? And then you had your John Cena, and then you had Roman Reigns, and now you have Roman Reigns still because no one has been able to take that mantle and be larger than life like he was. That's just, it's as simple as that. He still is, basically. It's as simple as that. So stop. Seth Rollins and this whole Becky Lynch thing, we saw it in 2019, it didn't work. We're seeing it now, no one wants to watch it. I don't know what else to say about this, man. Seth Rollins is just done. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And just watching the way that he's been just absolutely destroyed in this whole entire segment of this feud, it's just sad. It really is. We then move on. We get to see Becky Lynch basically ask AJ Lee, she basically says, how's your neck feel, AJ? I read your book, and you were talking about how your neck hurts and all this other stuff. How's it going to feel when you take those bumps? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, dude, just shut up. I don't care about this, man. AJ Lee then says she's erratic. She said she might stab Becky Lynch or something like that because she's from New Jersey or whatever the heck she said. I'm like, dude, what are you even talking about, man? Then she basically said, Seth Rollins gets on the mic, and Seth Rollins basically says that, look, CM Punk, you made a lot of bad moves, but the one thing you did is actually a good thing is AJ Lee. And I don't know, I just realized how that sounds, but you get the point. He basically say that the one good decision you made was AJ Lee, okay? And that's basically the situation with that. After he says this, he then says that CM Punk has a tendency to leave things that let him down. So if you let him down at WrestlePalooza, there's a good chance that CM Punk might leave you too. Becky Lynch says that she's not only the best women's wrestler on the planet, but Sports Illustrated said about how you get the point. Then after that, they brawl around. CM Punk, AJ Lee slaps Seth Rollins in the face. Rollins then says he'll never hit a woman, but he knows someone who will. Becky Lynch then he motions to Becky Lynch, hey, come help me. She doesn't help him. Then we move on, and Rollins and She hits a manhandle slam on AJ Lee while CM Punk is distracted with Rollins running around the ring, and then Becky Lynch slaps Punk again a couple times, and that's how the segment ends. Becky and Rollins stand tall. They're obviously going to lose the tag match, but this is a pretty cool diversion at the end of the segment. It's pretty cool to see how they kind of use their, the architect, visionary stuff, the man, all those kind of gimmicks of being intelligent and outsmarting them and being one step ahead actually played a role in the end of this segment. So I thought that was creative, but everything before that was a complete and utter waste of time. No one in this segment had anything to say. They were chanting AJ's wife or AJ's husband, to CM Punk. CM Punk had nothing to say. Rollins had nothing to say. Becky Lynch had nothing to say. I don't know what the segment offered. AJ Lee had nothing to say. No one had anything to say in the segment. All it ended up with was a cool little brawl segment, a creative, outsmarting that Rollins and Becky did. And that is it. So let's move on. We then had Dragano Lee versus 15 El Grande Americanos, and AJ Styles got beat up by one of them, and that's basically it. I've already gone on a tangent many times about how AJ Styles' booking right now is atrocious, so we don't need to continue this. Dragon Lee gets beat by El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser, and that's it. We then get a backstage segment that reveals that, guess what, guys? With Crown Jewel coming in, I think, like 3 or 4 weeks, guess what Rhea Ripley says in the backstage? Guess what she says, guys? I'm gonna take over the title and never lost yet. She basically says that whoever wins the match between Io and Stephanie Vaquer for the world title at WrestlePalooza, Rhea Ripley is coming for them. How many times is Rhea Ripley going to be coming for everybody? Hey, you have the belt, I'm coming for you. You have the belt, I'm coming for you. You have the belt, I'm coming for you. It's the same thing. Ever since Liv Morgan, came back last year at the Rumble, it's been the same storyline for Rhea Ripley for the last year and a half, 2 years. It's the same thing. How is no one tired of this? It's the same stuff. I'm gonna take my time and never lost yet. Come on. It's boring and it's lazy. Oh, Rhea Ripley's a big women's wrestler? Let's go ahead and put her in a title match. Lazy. Dumb. But when you watch Unreal and you see how Triple H interacts with Rhea Ripley backstage, hugging up on her and grabbing her, talking about some, you're Rhea Ripley, don't worry about
I'm China.
your special,
China Session. China Session. Maybe you should have treated China better. Instead of taking my girlfriend, Stephanie McMahon, and screwing her. And breaking up with China. You dumb motherfucker.
big and ended, man. I mean, I'm gonna leave it on that note. I'm just gonna leave it. Raps with Rhea Ripley backstage, hugging up on her and grabbing her, talking about some, you're Rhea Ripley, don't worry about the fans, you're special, Anyways, Stephanie Vaquer then beats Kairi Sane. Io Sky comes out to shake Stephanie Vaquer's hand. We move on, and then we move on. We didn't get the main event segment, guys. Jey Uso attacked LA Knight last week at the end of the show, so how do you think this week ended? How do you think it ended, man? I mean, I'm gonna leave it on that note. I'm just gonna leave it. How do you think that the show ended for the 15th week in a row? Do you think it ended with a brawl with the Vision and Jey Uso either ended up beating someone up or getting beat up? Do you think that's how it ended? Huh? Yeah. Anyways, I want you guys to know what you heard in this video is not a beginning. This is not, as some people will say, like Paul Heyman, this is not a prediction. This is a spoiler. If these shows continue to be this bad in the midst of them charging $30 plus a month for this, what this rant was tonight is just a teaser at what's to come. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out in one love.
Don't worry, Shaq. The General gives you a